problem is that all auto CPAP algorithms are shithouse. To put it bluntly, some are better than others, but overall, they're rubbish. They really are. And what you end up with a lot of the time is this. G'day mates. Today I'll teach you how to fine tune and optimize your auto CPAP pressure settings for optimal breathing and maximum comfort. Get ready to experience the best night's sleep of your life. Here we go. You can think of it like fine tuning a guitar. You see, if one of the strings is loose or the pressure low, it doesn't sound right, and the string is floppy, just like your airway. But vice versa, if the string is too tight, well, it could snap. It sounds harsh, it's difficult to play. Similar to when your CPAP pressure is too high. It can cause discomfort, side effects, make things uncomfortable. So all your CPAP machine's trying to do is tune the strings, adjust the tension, or in this case, the pressure levels, so that your breathing's effortless, nice and comfortable with no more or less than what's required. But unfortunately, rarely gets it right. This is why we need to fine tune and optimize those settings. And the end result, if you get it right, man, that sounds good, is a healthy, comfortable night's sleep with optimal breathing and less of the bullshit side effects. Now, it's far easier to tune a guitar if the strings are only slightly out of tune. There we go. The same goes with your CPAP machine. And by setting a narrow pressure range between your pressure min, the low pressure, and the pressure max, the high pressure, you're essentially telling your CPAP machine, hey, there's the ballpark of what pressure is required to treat my sleep apnea. Now find me the sweet spot. And this allows your machine to fine tune the pressure far more efficiently, giving you the best results without any unnecessary pressure jumps, which can cause a lot of problems, a lot of CPAP side effects. Let me show you this in action. Now, although some musicians can tune an instrument solely by ear, most of us amateurs rely on some sort of tool to help guide us for precision. And the same goes when you're optimizing your pressure settings. And the tool we're using today is one I developed with my best mate, Adam, who, by the way, is an absolute weapon on the axe. And I'll try and dig up some footage from the archives at the end of this video so you can see him in action. So stick around for that. Now, SleepHQ, it's a web-based CPAP charting and analytics platform, and it unlocks all of the wonderful, detailed CPAP information that's stored on your SD card. Here's an AirSense 10 here. There's the SD card. If you don't have an SD card, just go and buy one. They're nice and cheap. Put it in your CPAP machine, and then every night it will store all the detailed information. Every breath you take is stored on this SD card. And when we upload the SD card to SleepHQ, we get to see everything, every breath, every apnea, all your leak rates, what your pressure's doing, all your statistics, all your reports, everything. All right, so check it out. It's free to use, guys. Although we do have a pro version with a few more upgraded features. Now, it will work with your ResMed devices, your Philips devices, your Fisher & Paykel devices, and we've just added the German Löwenstein, which I'm very excited about. I can't wait to show you some of the cool shit they're doing. Really advanced stuff. All right, now today we're looking at John Jeffrey's profile. G'day, John, a fellow Aussie SleepHQ Pro member. Thanks for letting me share your charts for this educational video. John, really appreciate it. Hope you're having a great day. The principles which I'll teach you in this video can be pretty much applied to any CPAP machine. You just might need to tweak them a little bit with some trial and error. So AirSense 10, he has a pressure min of 10 centimeters. That's the lower limit. And a pressure max of 17 centimeters. That is the upper limit. And the range, which is the difference between the pressure min and the max, is 7 centimeters. And if we come down here, we can see the pressure trace. And this is changing through the night in response to his breathing, how he's sleeping, the different sleep stages, his different sleeping position, how stable is his upper airway, how much air is coming into his lungs. The machine is monitoring all this information, feeding it through to an algorithm, and that algorithm is adjusting the pressure accordingly. Now, the problem is that all auto CPAP algorithms are shithouse. To put it bluntly, some are better than others, but overall, they're rubbish. They really are. And what you end up with a lot of the time is this. You end up with these great big spikes. See here? See this great big jump in the pressure? It was down here at 11. And then in a couple of minutes, look, it's up here at 17. And these fast, frequent pressure changes disturb your sleep. ResMed's just doing its job. It's just trying to force more air into your lungs. But when it's fast and it's jumping up and it's jumping down, what does it do? It disturbs your sleep. And I want to show you that here. Now, although John has a very low apnea-hypopnea index, it's only 0.84. Well played, sir. His therapy is disturbing his sleep. It's waking him up. So there's no point in having a low AHI if the therapy just wakes you up all the time. And I'll show you that in action right here. So we'll zoom in on one of these big pressure jumps. Now in the beginning here, breathing is quite stable, nice and regular. And because of this, the auto pressure starts to drop. That's the way it works. You can see it here, 11.2, 11.1, and now it's under 11, 10.98. But as the pressure drops, there's less support for the upper airway and the airway starts to collapse. I'll show you it in action. All right, look at this pattern here. Nice and stable. And then, look at this. Right, there's a change because there's less airway support, less pressure. And this is why we need to optimize the pressure settings. The pressure min, where do we set that? We don't want the ResMed dropping the pressure too far. It realizes it's made a mistake and then it goes and jumps back up again. We don't want it doing that. We want it coming down, but we always want support. We've lost support here, and we can tell we've lost support because we start to see this yellow trace emerge, the airflow limitation trace. This is upper airway resistance, and the closer this trace gets to 1, the more airflow resistance there is. Now, the ResMed automatic algorithm is highly sensitive to this trace. So it goes, drop the pressure too far, and it starts to recover. And it starts to increase the pressure. See, look at it go. 11.3, 11.48. Oh, now it's up at 13. All right, we're up at 13. Look at it go. Now we're up at 13.6. We're up to 14. But look what starts to happen. As we get to 14.5, look what starts to emerge. Leak. No good. And the leak takes off. Now this is leak out the side of his mask. There's too much pressure building up. ResMed, up she goes. The pressure starts to seek out through the mask. Now that has the opposite result. If you jump up the pressure and the air starts shooting out the side, there's less pressure in the mask. So you get more airflow limitation, and that's what we can see here. Look at this. Look at the leak rate go up. Look at it go up. And then look at this. Look at the airflow limitation. Whoa, it's up here at 0.82. And at this point here, he wakes up. All right, you can tell he wakes up because the flow limitation drops off to 0. You don't have flow limitation when you're awake. And if we come down here, what we can also see is movement. Can I see the movement? This is him moving because he's woken up. And here's another one here. Same thing again. Pressure jumps up, leak jumps up, movement wakes up. So there's two big problems here. Number one, his pressure min is too low. And when the pressure drops, his airway collapses. We want to avoid that. That's number one. Number two, his pressure max is too high. So that when the pressure goes up, it's causing mask leaks, which are causing a lot of problems. All right, so we need to reduce that range. Currently at 7, we need to bring it in. Now with the pressure min, a great guide is this number here, your average pressure throughout the night. We take all the pressures, we average them out, and we get 12.32 for this particular night. But what you can do is you can generate a report, say a monthly report, and look at your average pressure for the month. And that's a great starting point for your pressure min level. And for the pressure max, this value here, the 95th percentile, 16.18 on this particular night, is a great starting point. It's a great reference point, right? The 95th percentile tells us that for 95% of this night, the pressure was only above 16.18 for 5% of the night. For the rest of the night, it was at or below that value. All right, and one thing about the ResMed automatic algorithm is it is extremely aggressive. It often provides too much pressure. It overshoots what's required for regular breathing. And you can see it. I mean, look, as soon as it goes whoop, it starts to come back down. It got it wrong. Whoop, up to 17, straight away drops back down. Did it need to go to 17? Probably not. All it did was cause a lot of leak. All right, so I'm going to show you how to generate a report now so that you can look at those monthly averages, because night on night, those values will change. So you just want to use sort of like a monthly or a weekly average. Just come up here to reports. Now for you guys watching, the report menu will be on the left-hand navigation. This is a clinician version of SleepHQ. So if you're a clinician or a doctor or a specialist, a healthcare professional, and you want to use SleepHQ to help manage your patients, I'll put some information in the description down below. But we'll click the reports here. And then we're going to add a new summary report. We're going to choose monthly, and I'll just choose, I don't know, let's go December. Give it a name. Create summary report. And just give it a moment for it to generate the report. There we go. And now I can download a PDF if I want, if I'm going for a specialist appointment. Or I can just click share link, and this will open up the report in a new link. All right, here it is. Now, if we scroll down here to the therapy section, we can see here the average pressure was 12.53 for the month. That's a great starting point for your pressure min level. And then we have our 95th percentile for the month, 14.54. That's a great spot to start for your pressure max. You can fine tune afterwards, but that's a great starting point for you there. Now let's move forward a few months. Jon's made some small changes to his pressure min and pressure max that have made a big difference to his therapy. So remember these numbers here. Pressure min was 10, pressure max was 17, pressure range of 7. He increases his pressure min from 10 to 12.8. Right? He's increased that lower limit like I showed you earlier because the pressure was coming down too low. His airway was collapsing. He's brought that up closer to his average pressure in the report. And his pressure max, he's dropped that from 17 down to 15. He's dropped it by 2. Now, he also made another change, which was he switched on his EPR, expiratory pressure relief. And I've done a great big video on EPR. If you want to watch that video, click the link above. But only 3 small pressure changes. But if we come down here, have a look at the results. Look at the pressure trace now. All right. We're on the highway now, guys. We're just in cruise control. Look at it previously. All right. This is when we're driving around the city. A lot of stoplights, a lot of pedestrians, fast, slow, up, down. Very hard to sleep with that. Look at this here. Hey, 3 settings changes. That, my friends, is optimal pressure. That's what I'm talking about. Fine tuning, optimizing your pressure range. Nice tight pressure range. Look at the breathing. Look how stable that breathing is. Hey? So good. All right, look previously. at the breathing. See, there's all these big jumps here, narrow sections, big jumps everywhere. The breathing's very irregular. Now it's Mickey Mouse. Coming down further, look at the airflow limitation. Only a few little sections associated with REM sleep. Come back again. Look at all the airflow limitation. Check out the leak here. Look at all the leak, the mask leak caused by that pressure going above 15. Look at it now. No leak. Absolutely no leak. Look at that. Amazing. 3 small changes to his settings. Look at the pulse rate. See this nice gradual decline in his pulse rate? That, my friends, is a resting heart. Look at it. Dropping through the night. I love seeing this. Look at this, down now to 61, 58. Now look at his heart rate with his old settings. You don't see it, hey. There's not really a drop. Hey, it's going up if anything. Look at it, just staying around that 80. Huh? See there? No pulse rate drop. So he's getting a much better sleep. Even though the apnea-hypopnea index hasn't changed much. What is it? 0.84 versus 0.14. Like, it's better. That's great. But just overall, his therapy, his comfort, his sleep is just so much better just from tweaking those settings slightly. Doesn't take much. Now, in this example, things were pretty clear. It was easy to see that the changes Jon made to his settings had an overall positive effect on his therapy and on his sleep. However, for many of you, when you're making a change to your settings or your therapy, maybe a changed mask, sometimes it's hard to determine if the changes you are making are having a positive impact on your results. And this is where the SleepHQ detailed report is so helpful, because it's a comparison report. You can compare one set of settings with another, one period with another, and then you can see the changes. And I'll show you that now. All right, so we'll go add new detailed report. Before we did the summary report, that's more of like a basic compliance report. Let's check out the new detailed report. And we can compare any time frame. We've got weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually. You can do 24 versus 23 to see if your results improved year by year. We're going to do a custom. We're going to do June 2024. These are his new optimal pressure settings that he's done versus, where was he? Back in October 2023. And we'll just call it compare. Compare the pair. Create detailed report. Here we go. So we're comparing his old pressure range, 10 to 17 with EPR off, versus his new pressure range, which was what, from memory, 12.8 to 15, EPR on 3. All right, so we'll let it generate the report. Now, if you're generating a report with a year of data versus a year of data, it might take 5 minutes or so. If it's a week, it'll be really quick. If it's a month, it'll be really quick, and it's ready to go. So let's have a look. So now we can compare the results, old settings versus new settings, and it tells us the percentage change in the results as well, and if it's positive or not. Green is good, red bad, yellow not much of a change. So his average AHI for October 2023, only 0.67, nice and low. It improved though, didn't it? Down 0.07. The average over the month of June, check that out, nearly perfect. That is awesome. Total time in apnea for the whole month. He spent 5 minutes in October 2023 and now only 1 minute 46. So that's improved. And you can go right through here. Longest apnea. How many obstructive apneas he had? He had 11 for this month. Now he had 0. How many central apneas? 14 originally, down 9. So improvements across the board. But if we come down here, check this out. Total hypopnea count, originally 113, now down to 6 for the whole month. But come down here, check this out. This is really important here. Check out the leak. All right, so total time in large leak for the month of October 2023, 5 hours, 4 minutes and 22 seconds. That is a lot of mask leak, disturbing sleep, creating noise, all right, reducing therapy pressure to your upper airway, causing dry mouth, causing his water chamber to run out faster. A lot of problems. Now 0 seconds, okay? An improvement of 100%. How good is that? And if we come down here to the pressure, not much has changed. Check it out. The average pressure, October 2023 was 12. Now it's 13. Only 1 centimeter difference. The maximum has reduced a lot because he's set his pressure max lower. And then his 95th percentile pressure, originally 13.26, 13.41, hardly changed. All right. So he's just made a few small tweaks, huge difference in his results, his therapy comfort, less leak. Look at the flow limitation here. Look at this flow limitation. Big changes, big improvements, far less upper airway resistance, more air into his lungs. Just incredible. You got access to SleepHQ, guys. Upload your data and away you go. Now, just before we go, let's check out the trends. All right, where are the trends? Here we go. Here's the trends. So here we have the apnea-hypopnea index trend, how many events he's having per hour, and it's trending down. All right, he's got it down to less than 0.5, and it's been that way. It's still improving. So good. Look at this. You know, it's down here at 0.14 now. Just incredible results. Jons' AHI was never high to begin with, and that's the point of this whole video. Just because you have a really low AHI doesn't mean you're sleeping well, as I showed you previously. Right, so there's always room for improvement. And if we come down here a bit further, we've got the usage here. Usage is improving. Here's the pressure. And this is when he was making all the changes. So it took him, about 3 months. And he's pretty much got it dialed in now. He might be making some minor tweaks. We can see the airflow limitation trace. Ew. Really good. And the leak. Big change in the leak. Hey, look at that. And now it's pretty much 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Happy days. So there you go, guys. A few tips on how you can optimize your automatic CPAP pressure range for optimal breathing and the best night's sleep of your life. You can use your average pressure to set your pressure min and your 95th percentile pressure for your pressure max as your starting points. And you can tweak them a little bit to suit your needs, right? Based on your results, based on your reports, based on your trends. Very easy to do these days with SleepHQ. Now, when you join SleepHQ, you automatically receive a free 2-week trial of the Pro platform with all the features unlocked, all the reporting, the journal, access to the Pro community so you can interact with members and get advice, everything. Dive straight in, have a ball. Now, after that 2-week period, hey, if you don't think it's value for money, that's fine. We understand. We'd love you to become Pro members. We reinvest everything into the platform, developing new features and supporting the community. ResMed, what do they spend? 6% on R&D. We spend 100% on R&D. All right. So we'd love you to be Pro members, but if you want to be a free member, that's totally fine as well. You'll have access to your most recent 30 days of detailed information, and that's rolling. So you can always look back 30 days. Anyway, mates, until next time, sleep well, make every moment count, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.